Support and resistance are arguably the most important concepts of trading. Especially as beginners, it's very important to learn this and get really good at seeing where they are and drawing them in on your charts. Support and resistance are two areas upon which price tends to turn around or rest. So if someone purchases something, let's say a coin or a stock, a share of a stock, then the price goes up. If someone sells it, the price goes down. So as the price goes down, for example, the price will get so low that whoever's buying and selling the stock will realize, okay, it's very low for whatever we think it's worth at this time. Then we're going to start buying it. So it will start to move up. But it won't move up until there's more buyers than sellers. So as the price gets lower, the price becomes more attractive. So the buyers step in, more buyers step in, and then eventually the price turns around and heads back up. That point of turning around is considered to be the support zone, or the support line, some people call it. Support, if you think of something being supported, it's underneath support. It's a good way to remember it. So what you tend to find is these areas are consistent over time. They do obviously change here and there, but over a period of time you can see certain areas where support is created. So it's where that everyone believes that the price is low enough, so more buyers step in and then the price heads up. The price then heads up towards the upper levels and turns around again and heads down. So to explain that, it's the opposite. So people are buying, more buyers. It gets very high. So people believe, oh, it's very high, I should sell. More sellers start to step in than there are buyers. The price eventually turns around and goes back down. So that turnaround point is considered the resistance zone or the resistance line. So these tend to remain fairly constant as well. There are different levels of support and resistance. So you have major support, major resistance, high time frame support, a different way of saying that. There's low time frame support, minor resistance, minor support. This is just gauging essentially the time frames and the time frames that these are calculated on. The higher the time frame, the more usually the market respects it. So we're looking at high time frame support and resistance because this really is if you want to begin trading as a beginner, this is really all you need. You see price turns around at these major zones, you can trade it. You can either short it at the resistance or buy it at the support. As a beginner, I recommend just buying. So we're going to chart up Bitcoin today, and I'll talk you through some of these concepts in real time. So we have a Bitcoin chart here. I'll start on the weekly. On the weekly, you can generally see them quite clearly, depending on what it is. Sometimes with coins, you can't as much because the volume isn't as much as some stocks. And also, there's just not enough touch points. But straight away, if we look at the start here, you can see there's a fairly consistent point here where price has turned around. Here, this is here, and here. So this for me is a support zone. Some people like to draw lines. I draw an area because it's not always exactly the same. It's just sort of an area where the price kind of starts to move, turn around. So let's draw this area. And if you want, you can drag it across so it covers the current price point. This is a major support zone because this can be seen on the weekly and it's respected at many times. Also, it's very low. Usually the lowest can be the most, the strongest. So if price was come down to here, very, very likely that it's going to turn around at that point. If it does break below it, there can be problems because this is the lowest point. People can lose all faith in it. So we've drawn that one. Let's have a look for some more, maybe closer to the price that it is currently, so it's more relevant. The touch point charts aren't as clear with the weekly. I can see them here, but we'll make it the daily. If you don't see them too well in the weekly, just keep going down in the time frames until you see them. You can see that line that this marker makes. You can use that line just to see the touch points. I can see here there's one here, there's a series here, there's some here, and there's some here. You can draw that line straight across. So let's make that a zone. Fix that up. Just try to get as accurate as you can, including the wicks and the bodies. That for me is pretty good. Can see one here. So there's a turnaround point here, some here, all along here, and here. So it's that 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is another one. One, you can see a little bit there. 1, 2, 3. And here, 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 quite a good one. Okay, so you can see how they're drawn. Now, the way we can use this is price will generally turn around at those points. Sometimes it can break through the points. So both of these are tradable. We wait for the price, we call it price action, what the price shows as it's doing. But for example, we may wait until price goes down, and then we're going to start, when it hits this zone, we start watching. We start watching to see what price is doing. When the price turns around and starts coming back up, usually the last high of the price as it moves through or past that, we can take the trade, turning around, and we can take the trade up to the next zone where we can start to watch it again. Again, if price falls through, comes back up, makes a new low, then this will be the new resistance, and then that will be the support. So we can watch it, watch for signs that'll turn around here. If it does, we can trade it again here, or we can trade it short here. We can, when it comes back up, touches and then falls back, we can take the short until this zone, and that's where we would start watching it again. So these are very basic, straightforward ways to be able to perceive the charts, and a few techniques on how to trade them. So hope you enjoyed that, guys, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. Cheers.